And welcome back, folks. Sorry about the shortened D&D game. Life happens. But we always got warships. So how's everyone's New Year's? After 48 of them, they kind of lose their luster. Just picked the ship up earlier today, yesterday, sometime recently.
Action stations.
Japanese destroyer. They have a high maneuverability, high speed, and longer than normal torpedo range, which is nice. Unfortunately, they're made out of paper mache, so they tend to blow up rather quickly. But you're a destroyer, you're not supposed to be duking it out with people, you're supposed to be sneaky. So as soon as I figure that out, we'll be set. And here come the planes. Hoping I can sneak around and start pestering their base before I get noticed.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Nope, too late. Hey Ryan, what's going on? Happy New Year. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop to Oh, this is going to be a quick one.
Problem solved, sir. Critical engine.
Dead, dead, dead. Nope, I'm just dead. Nothing for it. It's my own stupidity, I wasn't paying attention. And he's gonna go right in between them. Oh well. Oh! I hit one. How the hell did he manage to get hit by one of those? Plenty of time to get out of the way. Well, let's hop on another ship. That was just a bad start. Our American destroyer. I always seem to know exactly where the bad guys are going. What's going on, Trash? You getting sick again? No, I don't. No, I don't think there'll be a...
Action stations.
No, there's too much to lose for everybody involved. Because that puts us at risk for a war with China. China won't allow North Korea to do anything stupid. I mean, granted, North Korea's been doing a lot of stupid crap, but they haven't outright threatened anybody yet. And I think the second they go to threaten somebody, China's going to say, hey, you know, watch your P's and Q's there, because we can't bail you out again. China's got a good thing going right now, and they're not going to want to destroy it because of some piddly little country like North Korea that, you know, provides no resources whatsoever. But, you know, there's no telling. The hard part is, do I think Trump will go along with anything like that? No. Do I think the rhinos will push for something like that because it's good for the economy? Possibly. And I know the left will, because they all have lots of stakes in the military-industrial complex. So. I just don't think North Korea has the resources to do anything too severe.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. Critical engine damage. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Damn, I'm just a sitting duck. I didn't realize I was stopped.
target. Smoke screen set.
That was just my own stupidity again. Yep, dead. Dead, 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 dead. Iran is a more likely target, primarily because they're one of the countries that doesn't use the central banking system, and those are the countries that tend to get hit the hardest. Those that don't play along well with others. No, all my torpedoes missed. Screw it. Iran's being destabilized right now, and I honestly don't think Trump wants war, though. But he's up against Congress, and a lot of members of Congress have a hey Gage, how's it going? A lot of members of Congress have a vested interest in war. Well, you look at it, Syria doesn't use a central banking system. Iran doesn't use a central banking system. Libya didn't. Yemen didn't. And look what happened to those two countries. Yeah, it is. It is. I just hope we keep our noses out of it. I honestly do. There's no reason for us to get involved. It's an internal problem. It has nothing to do with us. It doesn't pose any risk to our borders. But again, you know, none of those situations that we've been involved in the Middle East have really posed any direct threat to our nation. Doesn't mean we're not getting involved. I don't approve of it, but there is a lot of aggression towards Russia right now, and I think it's poorly placed. Russia just wants to get along. Russia just wants to embrace capitalism, get used to being a democratic country for a change. But we've run out of bad guys. And that's a problem. Honestly, the only thing keeping our economy going right now is military. And if our military stops having a purpose, stops having a function, then the dollar's going to tank. A lot of people on Capitol Hill are scared of that. I personally think it should happen. You're not going to fix it until you let it collapse. But it is. It's scary too. I mean, so many of these wars are fought not for any security reasons. It's purely for money. It's just money. It's all about money.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
I'm just doing horrible. It could affect Russia because Russia's allied with, at least loosely allied with Iran and Syria, and it will weaken them internationally. They won't have as many cards to play if things go down. I think it's stupid, but again, it's all about the dollar. It's all about keeping the dollar afloat for as long as possible. Oh, excuse me. And the only way to do that is to keep us in a state of warfare, or keep us in a constant state of war. And we've been doing it since World War II. After World War II, there was Korea, and then there was Vietnam. You know, Desert Storm, all these little piddly things in South America and whatnot. But the dollar's been steadily declining, well, since the creation of the Fed. Well, and then Nixon taking us off the gold standard was like the final nail in the coffin. Once that happened, it was just a matter of time. And so many countries hitched their wagon to the U.S. dollar that a lot of people are going to be hurt as a result of it. That's why China started their own trade bloc, their own Asian trade bloc that has nothing to do with the U.S. dollar. And that's why, you know, they're kind of cozying up to Russia right now, because it's mutually beneficial. I mean, I'm not going to go so far as to say they're buddies, but they see the advantage in pulling the resources. And that's two mighty big countries. And right now, China has the strongest economy of any country in the world.
Action stations.
I wouldn't say 1984. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. This is pure money. This is just pure finances. Happy New Year, Tom. Did you do anything fun? Oh, okay. Well, I'll get back to you in 20 minutes then. Ate some lobster. We did sauerkraut, pork and sauerkraut. Pennsylvania. It's a traditional New Year's dish. It's pork and sauerkraut. Oh, sauerkraut. Aw, poor little mouse. Sorry. I spent a year living with a mouse because I didn't have the heart to kill it. He'd come out at night and anything I left on the counter, he would just be up there.
Smoke generator started.
He hightailed it out of there. Good for him.
Smoke screen set.
Picked up a humidifier too. So you're ringing in the new year right. Mouse traps and humidifiers. Oh, dirty birdie.
Critical engine damage. Direct front.
Damn it. Snuck right up on me. Not a one. Missed every fucking one of them. God damn it. I know, it's everything here is just charged with static. Happy New Year, Harry. Why do I play this game? I'm so bad at it. Eh. Alcohol and D&D just don't mix. Requires too much thought. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I don't want shorter range on my torpedoes. Good lord, they hardly get there as it is. This is the section where you make your captain a better captain. Oh, captain, my captain. To battle. I have spurts of good where I'll like go into a battle and do, but those are when I really focus on what I'm doing. Tonight I'm not focusing. I'm chit-chatting. Graham started a good conversation. The increased hostilities and all the protests in Iran and North Korea getting a little antsy and all that stuff. Yeah, well, wait till you've been through 48 of them, Tom. It just becomes another day. Another day. I don't think I've ever once in my life gotten drunk on New Year's. Not once. Of course, now I don't drink at all, but when I was younger, I just never had the opportunity. Always ended up doing something else. Frequently, I'd be playing a video game of some sort. Back in my Asheron's Call days. War Warcraft, City Heroes. I remember spending New Year's on each of those games. There aren't any coming out, Harry, that I'm really excited for. Cyberpunk 2077, if they ever release any more information about it, is about the only one. But they've been so quiet about it. It's the same company that does the Witcher games.
Smoke generator started. Critical engine damage.
Damn, son of a
on
bitch.
fire. Problem solved, sir. Smoke screen set. Torpedoes astern.
I am such a fucking retard. See, that's what gets me killed. It's my own stupidity that gets me killed.
Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir.
That too. There's just so many games coming out, and none of them are really anything new or innovative. It's just more of the same. Yes, that's why I said yes. I guess that's a downside to be Black Mesa. Yeah, I still got to finish it. I think I got one more stream's worth from Black Mesa, and then I'm gonna move on to Half-Life 2, and then start going through some of the mods. Nope, never saw it, Harry. Not the original, no. Human Condition, I played. Huh. I really enjoyed that, the Human Condition one. I'm a big Cyberpunk fan. That's my shizzle. That's why I'm excited about the new Cyberpunk. With that, and I used to play the role-playing game, the tabletop role-playing game, a lot. I think if I had to pick a favorite role-playing game, it would be Cyberpunk 2020. Which is only 2 years from now. The original Cyberpunk 2020, not the 2031 or whatever, the remake where they changed all the rules. Okay. Morgan Freeman makes it good. It's not that I never wanted to see it, Harry. It's just I've never had the opportunity to see it. It just never came up.
General quarters.
It's always been on that list of movies I should watch at some point or another, but I just don't watch too many movies. It's hard when you have a 2-year-old kid screaming and hollering all over the house. It's difficult. I don't think we've been able to sit through an entire movie since she was born, actually. No, I tell a lie. When she was first born, I would sit and watch Kung Fu Theater movies over and over. Or endlessly, just one after another after another. There's a few YouTube channels that have uploaded a bunch of Kung Fu Theater movies. So we would sit up all night, because, you know, newborns don't sleep, and we'd watch Kung Fu movies. It's tempting sometimes, it really is. She's at that age now where she's starting to test limits. Far out, but you're not. There you are. I'll keep it in mind. Absolutely. I'm looking for new stuff to do. Sorry, I just burned out on EverQuest. I way overdid it. How are they seeing me? Come on, dude. You see me right here. I'm trying to get past you without hitting you. Citadel. Yeah, buddy, that's what I like to see. And I'm dead again. Is it worth it, Harry? Is it worth it? It is. It is. You feel better. Game of the Year edition on Steam. I think I'm actually going to check that out. Game of the Year edition 99 cents. Yeah, I'm going to check that out after the stream, Tom. Noted. Okay. Yeah, I think I can swing 97 cents. Come on. I got disconnected.
General quarters.
Oh, it brought me back dead. Thanks for that. You mean you have an extra 3 pounds that you need to lose, or you're considered obese by 3 pounds? Hell yeah, we're taking that. Not sure which way I want to go there. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that too. I think what I like the most about Steam is I can get all these games added to my Steam library, and then always have access to them. Don't have to worry about a bunch of discs laying around or anything. I think tomorrow, though, I am going to finish Half-Life 1, the Black Mesa version, and then we'll see where we go from there. There's a bunch of mods for it that I wanted to check out. There's one I wanted to do on Halloween. It was kind of horror-ish. But I can never get it to work properly. But I think I'm going to have another go at it. I mean, the game ran, it just stream. I couldn't get it streamed properly. What's Zen? I don't know. I'm Half-Life virgin. This is my very first playthrough of Half-Life 1. Piggy! Oh. It's not in the Black Mesa version?
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Hey, thanks for the follow, McStuffer. Was that McStuffer? Who was that? It was somebody. Love this game. I suck at it. I suck at it hard. Harder than a Taiwanese prostitute, but I love this game.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Nope, never played deathmatch mode. Like I said, I'm new. I've done exactly one playthrough of Half-Life 2.
The ship is on fire. Smoke generator started. Problem solved, sir.
A lot of death coming my way.
Smoke screen set. Enemy cruiser sighted. Enemy destroyer detected. Provide anti-fire support. I need intelligence data. Carrier detected. Enemy cruiser detected.
No, I don't play World Tanks. These typically aren't the kind of games I play, McStuffer. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on not dying very hard. But I was convinced to oh, one shot kill. Yeah, boy. I feel better about life now. Oh, he's dead.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Oh shit, he's dead.
Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes to starboard.
I can't do plane games. No matter how many times I try, I just end up crashing. I have enough trouble with 2 dimensions. I don't know if I can handle 3. Oh god. Yeah, I vaguely recall the Thief games. Oh no, I suck. I freely admit that. I have fun though.
Engine damage.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to switch. Brutal Doom. I did Brutal Legend. Had to take it down. It's chock full of copyright infringements, but it was a fun game. Never played the original Doom either. So much I missed out on. Due to MMOs. Spent so much time playing MMOs, I missed a lot of the single player games. Fallout. That was about the only one.
The enemy is about to win.
Come on, let me get a shot off.
Critical engine damage. The ship is on fire.
Damn it. I actually did pretty good that time. I need a coffee. I'm going to be back in just a moment. Dead. Yeah, that's usually how most of my matches end up. I'll be right back. Gotta get a coffee. Told you, not good, but I have a lot of fun. Alright. And we're back. Yeah, it was kind of odd. Back to port A. We lost. Woot. The only problem with this game is it's really hard to focus on the chat, and the chat's my favorite part. I gotta find a game that allows me to talk to folks. Like solitaire, you know. Friday the 13th? Yeah, that's possible. I saw that. It looked kind of interesting. Yeah, but does anybody want to watch Civ 5? Good night, AJ. Maybe like one of those MOBAs or something. I don't know. League of Legends or something. This, yeah, I realize it's not a lot to watch, but when you're playing, it really sucks you in. You just focus on everything you're doing super hard. Which is a downside because then you don't focus on what people are saying. But fortunately I blow up early, so there's that. This is a German cruiser that I'm playing. More Dark Souls. Dark Souls. Never played Dark Souls. Get him. Got him. That's our primary target. No, that's a cruiser. I thought that was a destroyer. Yep, he found it. Sorry if I hit you, dude. It's not my intention. guy's pretty good. Bobbing and weaving a lot. Hard to get a beat on. What the fuck? There we got him.
Enemy cruiser foundered. We've destroyed an enemy cruiser. Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy destroyer sighted.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. Got 2 kills. 3 Citadel hits, that's nice. There's our aircraft carrier. Let's find something a little more exciting to look at.
Good show.
It's really hard to take out the battleships. There's so much armor. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many old games that I haven't played yet, because you know, I spent so much time doing the MMO thing that I'd really like to just go back and play them now that I have the opportunity. But the problem is you can't get them to run very well because they're not, you know, they're all made for 32-bit systems, and they didn't have the resolutions, native resolutions, so you have to use like updates or mods or whatever. Whoa, that's gonna hurt. Watch. Blam. Yeah, that took a nice little chunk out of him. When a cruiser or a battleship does a full volley like that, it just does so much damage. We're gonna lose this one though. I have a feeling. I don't know. No, we just pulled ahead. That guy can keep his ass alive long enough. The destroyer should be over there going after that cruiser. Or that battleship. I think that's what he's going after. World War II. It's World War II era ships. There's no specific battles or anything, but all the ships are from the World War II era. Late World War I, World War II. Because there was a lot of carryover from one war to the other. Dead. Got too close to the enemy. Nope. Boom. I think I just locked it in for us. Oh, they took out our aircraft carrier. Oh, that's not good. Yep, that's when that's when a lot of the big battleships started coming out. The aircraft carriers in the beginning were really primitive. They were basically just battleships. Let's see if I can find one. They're basically just battleships like this with a landing pad strapped to the top. They convert battleships into aircraft carriers. They were small, relatively speaking, but then later on they developed ships that were specifically aircraft carriers. I don't think we have an aircraft carrier left. No, ours got killed. Boom! Little fender bender there. Those torpedoes are going to hit. Yep, he's dead. Wow. That just locked in the victory. We got one more destroyer. Poor little guy, all down here all by himself. Destroyers they die fast. They do a lot of damage, but they die really fast. Glass cannons. He's gonna fuck around and get himself killed. There it is. They're also very stealthy. Oh, it's boom. That guy's just hanging on by a thread. He's gonna kill him too, you watch. Yep. Right there. He's dead. Like just, oh man. Blam. That was close. Achievement unlocked. That one kept going back and forth. It was kind of neat. Doesn't normally happen that way. Normally you can tell who's going to win within the first few minutes. That one kept going back and forth. Yeah, they did all kinds of crazy stuff. Like they make fake platoons of tanks out of plywood and whatnot, just to make it look like there was a whole platoon of tanks getting ready to march across the field. Meanwhile, the real tanks were in a completely different location. All kinds of silly stuff like that. Let's do that again. That was fun. I don't know what they were. Sorry, you got me there. Not a big war buff. Just pick up little bits of trivia here and there.
Battle starts.
Still got the ho-ho-hos.
Retreat now! Denied! I need intelligence data. Acknowledged. 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 Provide anti-aircraft fire support. Denied.
Ah, neat.
I need intelligence data.
Ingenuity. Now, instead of going around it, maybe you should try.
Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship detected.
Boy, it'd be nice if I could hit this guy. There we go.
Problem solved, sir.
Damn. Nope, I'm done.
Critical engine damage.
Yep, saw that coming.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Requesting assistance. I need intelligence data.
Yeah, this one's too long. I don't want to wait. I'm gonna grab a coffee. I'll be right back. It's an Italian Goodyear blimp too, so you can count on it blowing up at some point. What's going on, X? Sorry about the abbreviated D&D game tonight. Hope we get a chance to finish it at some point. Wouldn't mind making that a regular thing. Yeah, like once a month or something. I miss playing. I gotta be honest. I miss playing tabletop games. Wouldn't mind getting you guys into some Cyberpunk. Is it really, Tom? I'm gonna check it out as soon as I'm done streaming. I got it written down over here. Is that the one you were telling me about? Brilliant. Good. Yeah. Actually, I used to have a shop down in Florida. 10 years. Well, I managed it for most of it, and then the last year it was open. The owners just handed me the keys and moved. But that was right when the recession hit too, so
General quarters.
it didn't survive. Excellent. I'm gonna check it out. Definitely gonna check that out. Deus Ex Revision. I'll be smiling hopping here. Well, yeah. Yep, I owned a shop, used to play several games a week, like D&D one night, Legend of the Five Rings. It's similar to Shadowrun, but it's all humans, no magic. It's much grittier too, if you can imagine. I got a whole bunch of the old Cyberpunk 2020 books on PDF. Can dole out to folks. You can't get them anymore.
Smoke generator started.
Paranoia. Yeah, that's a fun game. Yeah, it's stupid crazy. It's meant to be not taken seriously. Had a lot of fun with that when it first came out.
Screen set.
That was a fun one.
I need support. Roger.
Alright. Yeah, don't look where you're going right there, dude. Great Asmir voice? I don't know what that is. You keep saying things I don't understand. And that's okay, because I like learning new things. I'll go after their aircraft carrier. Nope. And I landlocked myself. God damn it.
Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir. Sir, critical engine damage. The ship is on fire.
It's my own stupid fault. I ran into the land. And they're going to just fizzle out and not hit anything. Why do you want to whisper and scratch things? That's weird.
Taking the lead.
I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing, in which case, carry on. I find coffee to be calming and relaxing, but I get really tense when I don't have it. Oh, yeah, okay. See, that's the secret to being a streamer. Female, push-up bra. $1 million. That's all you need. You don't need a personality. You don't need any original content. You can just do makeup tutorials and tank tops, and you'll just make tons of money. Male privilege. I told my girlfriend to get on that. I'm too old. Even if I got a boob job now, they'd be sanging down to my knees.
Battle starts.
Yeah, if the ship has anti-aircraft guns or not. I don't think it does. No. Nope. Yes, we are. We encourage that kind of behavior, and we can't take advantage of it. The ship doesn't have anti-aircraft guns. I don't think. Oh yeah, he does. What the hell are you shooting at me for? I'm not a destroyer.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Where the hell are the torpedoes coming from? Damn it. Fuck. I know, right? Yeah, just let them get their ad revenue. Stop encouraging that kind of stuff. Trust me, it's not worth it. They're not going to have sex with you. Find yourself a good woman, be happy. I don't know what's worse, the girl's taking advantage of it or the guy's falling for it. That's the thing. And all it really does is make it harder for the girls that actually want to get on here and just play games. Yeah, they're going to be sitting there looking at their, well, not their watch, but their phone the whole time. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Come on, you only gave me 20 bucks. There's a few good female gamers out there that actually want to be taken seriously as a female gamer, but it's really hard to take a female gamer seriously when 99% of them are just, you know.
Action stations.
Let Google pay the rent. That's what ad revenue's for. What ship am I on? I forget. Ah, the Nicholas. Like this? Do you mean like this in a calm, soothing manner?
Smoke generator started. Smoke screen set.
That is true. That is true. Well, it's tough for men now. Alright, let's get on to an actual topic here instead of just jokes. It's very tough for men to be men now. Kind of behavior is discouraged. Because men have been so feminized due to the feminist movement that they're afraid to be men because, you know, sexual harassment charges.
Proceed to the base.
I need intelligence data. Retreat now!
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Hold on a second, I'm in a tense situation here. So it's not a good time to be a young man. Everything about being a young white male in this
Concentrate fire on the target.
current environment is
Critical engine damage. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Reporting
lead your target.
Torpedoes direct. Torpedoes to port.
all stations, requesting fire on the designated target.
They did again.
Critical engine damage.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
I took one out. It makes me happy.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah. Oh, Happy New Year, Danny. Sorry. I was trying very desperately not to die. Get one of those ocean sounds things. And then not only do you go to sleep, but you pee the bed. Yeah, we are shifting back towards normal. And, the denial of gender roles is a huge problem. You can't continue to make the argument that men and women are equal. Yes, they're equal in the eyes of the law, but they are different. And to deny that is just to deny the truth. What are you shooting at, dude? Just blew the hell out of that rock. Women are better suited at some things than men are. And this is coming from a stay-at-home dad. You know, got him. Did you get him? Did you get him? Got him. Come on, get him. Got him. Ah, got him with one. No, that's all right. But yeah, okay. This whole feminist thing. They pushed and pushed for more sensitive men, more men that could relate to women's problems better, and then they got their wish. Now we have an entire generation of basically manlets, and now the women don't want them because they're too feminine. So they're going for all these other men, these bad men, bad relationships, bad choices, life choices that haunt them for the rest of their lives, having children with these men, and then these men turn out to be these men, and they leave them for other women, leaving these women to raise their kids by themselves, which leads to another generation of bad children. It's this horrible cycle that we've gotten ourselves into that's just slowly eroding decency. Not slowly, quickly. I mean, over Niagara Falls in a barrel quickly. And once you have a collapse of the nuclear family, once you have a collapse of that core structure of society, that central unit, the family unit, once that collapses, your entire there's a difference between an alpha male, Tom, and a bad man. Okay, the good men have all been feminized. The ones who are going to hold down a job and be supportive and provide a home, provide a stable family. They're all being feminized. The ones that aren't being feminized are the ones who rebel against that, but they rebel so hard against that they're just bad men. They're users, they're abusers, they're unstable, unreliable, and that's the extremes are what we've been driven to. You know, you either have the complete cuck on the one side or the alpha male on the other side that is just not going to be a good parental unit. Well, the average man should have economic and political power because that makes up the bulk of your bell curve. You know, it's the average men that are in the middle, not the outliers. But now it's the outliers that are making the rules. It's the outliers that are causing the problems. And everybody in the middle of that bell curve is getting screwed as a result of it. There are cultural differences at play. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you on, you know, the whole Muslim thing. I'm not 100% disagreeing with you on that. They do take it to extremes. It's not depowering women, and that's the thing. That's the thing. You're not depowering women. If anything, you're empowering women. You're showing women that you are the most important aspect of any civilization, because without women, your society dies. Period. You can have, again, I keep going back to the Lindy Beige thing. Why were women so protected during war back in the Middle Ages and whatnot? Why were women captured? Why were women taken hostage? If you have 1,000 men and 1 woman, your society is going to die. But if you have 1,000 women and 1 man, your society can still flourish.
Our team has taken the lead.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll go with you on that one. But that's a self-correcting problem. And it probably would have corrected itself a long time ago if people weren't meddling with it. Meddling with it, sorry. You can't do much for that culture. You can't. And it's no different than a lot of the, like the African cultures, for example, where, male dominance kind of thing. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. You're not going to fix the Muslim thing. You're not. It will fix itself. Eventually people get pushed to a point where they push back. You're seeing that in Iran right now, actually. With the uprisings that are occurring there. People are tired of being pushed, tired of being kept under. Eventually people push back. Eventually the problem does correct itself. It doesn't need any outside influence. Of course we're going to get involved in it, and we're going to muck the whole thing up and send it back another century. You know, in the name of democracy. But in those cultures, in those, you find the median, you find the average, you find the comfort zone for the culture. Anytime it goes too far one way, too far the other, then you have revolution, then you have uprisings, then you have people fighting back. I mean, sometimes it can go very close to that point and not hit it, which happens a lot in the Muslim world. It gets very close to that point, very overbearing for the women, for example. But it's not quite to that point, not quite there yet. Because women can't do it by themselves, they need the men to do it for them. So, you see, that's the catch-22. The men don't want to lose the power that they have over the women, but, you know, one way around that is for the women to just start offing themselves, or whatever. You know, if it's that bad that you just can't bear it anymore, then why bear it anymore? And then if you start losing enough women in your culture, the men are going to stop and say, hey, wait a minute, our culture's dying out because we don't have enough women to reproduce, because we're being so horrid to them that they'd rather die than produce offspring for us. I mean, that's always an option. It's not a pleasant option, it's not a pleasant one to think about, but it will correct the problem in the long run. That's just an example. Just an example. I'm not saying that's the solution. But any of these systems, when let alone, will correct themselves. Here in the United States, we've gotten very close to that point where it's gone so far left. So far left that most of our Republican congressmen and whatnot are left of center, despite the fact that they're Republicans. I mean, most of our government has shifted left of center, despite the claims they make. And the axis has shifted so far to that one side that now there's naturally going to be a pushback. And that's why the current generation of kids that are growing up and coming through the school systems are questioning authority. But unlike the hippies of the 60s who are questioning sexual freedom and whatnot, these kids are rebelling against their authority figures with conservative words. You know what I mean. More traditional values. Men being men, women being women. And that's okay. Why is that not okay? Well, no, and they don't, Harry, and then that's part of the system. Guys are disposable. Let's face it, having had 2 male children prior to having a daughter, I'm much more protective of the daughter than I was of the 2 sons. Not that I love them any less. It's just... It's you can't refer to nature when you're referring to humans. I mean, humans have the natural drive to reproduce, but they also have the intellect to protect that reproduction. Part of protecting that reproduction is the nuclear family, the core unit, and that's where, when people start throwing out, well, in nature, these things are polyamorous, and these things are polyamorous, and these things are polymorphs. Yes, but they're animals. They don't have the intellect to understand that in order to maintain your society, your culture, you have to maintain that core family. And even then, like a pride of lions, for example, a new male lion takes over the pride, he kills all the offspring from the other ones because he doesn't want any competition. No, you can't correct your instinctual drive, but you can build on your instinctual drive to further it, to make it better than the base animal. To not be controlled by your instinctual drive, to control it instead. They've lost control recently with the increase in promiscuity, for example. That's a loss of control of an instinctual drive. You have to bring that back into check. You have to bring that back under control. Otherwise, it controls you. Animals are controlled by their instinctual natures. Humans control theirs. That's the difference between animals and humans. We have the capacity, the mental capacity, to control that if we choose to do so. That's why it's not a fair comparison. The animals don't have that intellect. They don't have that ability to rationalize that a human does. And a human knows that, yes, you have the desire to go out and screw everything that's walking. You have that desire, but you know that in order to successfully propagate your species and sometimes dogs eat their own poop, yes. You have to maintain the core. By maintaining the core, you maintain the community. By maintaining the community, you maintain the society. You know what I mean? And it's an outward spreading thing, and we've learned a long time ago that in order to maintain the society, you have to maintain the core. Animals don't quite have that. They'll sacrifice the core, for whatever reason, because it's, not their core, for example. I mean, if you're comparing animals to humans, then anytime a guy marries a woman with kids, it's okay for him to kill the kids, because they're not his kids. They pose a threat to his dominance. So it's better to just kill them off. No, you wouldn't suggest that kind of thing either. You can always find an example in nature that goes against the human norm. But the human norm is not the natural norm. I mean, the human norm is not the non-human norm. We've been given the intellect for a reason. We've achieved the intellect for a reason. I don't want to say given, because that brings religion into it. We've evolved. We're not done yet. We're still evolving. But without that core unit, it all collapses. And you're seeing it now. I mean, and you can't deny that. You can't deny that the core family, the nuclear family unit, has disintegrated for all intents and purposes. Divorce rates are now over 50%. And, you know, marriage is a social construct, whatever. The family unit is fragmenting. Way more single moms now than there used to be. Way more single dads than there used to be. Way more broken homes. Way more multiple partners. And why that's bad is because these women that are having multiple husbands, for example. I think the guy that shot Lincoln was a hero, Harry. Sorry. My hat's off to Booth. Those women are unstable because they can't maintain a stable relationship. Because they've been conditioned to believe that... No, it's not. It's not a good time for the average man. That's why the MGTOW movement has gained so much popularity, because women just aren't worth it anymore. They have nothing to offer. They bring nothing to the table. You know damn well. Abraham Lincoln. You know, I mean, I got lucky. You know, so I'm the exception to this rule. But most guys know that when they get involved with a woman, it's going to end in disaster for the man. Yeah, yeah, and social issues too. This goes back to this can all be traced back to the McCarthy era. You know, when he was seeing communists behind every bush, and then we found out later that he's right. That there was, in fact, a movement in the United States to break down the core American values, to break down our core social structure, to bring about instability through feminism, through civil rights, through all these other things. And it worked, because it started forcing people to see differences. Man, woman, black, white, Asian, you know, Jew, Gentile, whatever. It forced people to see all these differences. Differences that they would normally just, you know, they'd be moderately aware of, but it wouldn't really be an impact, you know. And as time went on, those differences became more and more and more magnified. So instead of bridging the racial gap or bridging the gender gap, we've actually broadened it through awareness. And it's not something that's happening from folks on the right because they don't care. They don't have time for it. It's not economical. It's not practical. It's a non-issue. Can you do the job? That's all I need to know. That's it. Male, female, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. Can you do the job? Okay, we're good. But on the left, all they see is race. All they see is race. And they claim to be doing so to protect those minority groups. When in fact, all they're doing is making the situation worse and worse and worse and worse, because they're forcing everybody to see race. Racism is now a bigger problem than it was when I was a child. When I was a child, it was pretty much non-existent. There were still little pockets of people saying, ah, blacks, yeah, Asians, ah, Jews, you know, whatever. But you're always going to have that. You're always going to have, and that's okay. They're free to think that way, as long as it doesn't affect the way they do their day-to-day business. But as I've gotten older, I've seen this gap get wider and wider and wider. Well, yeah, well, Tom, what you just said, they've been told, don't let the man control you. And it's not that way at all. The man does not control you. The man is your partner in this situation. The man without the woman is useless. The woman without the man is useless. It's only when you bring the two together that you propagate the species. Women have control of certain aspects of life, men have control of certain aspects of life. Men bring home the money, women take care of the nest. That's fine. Everybody has the role, and it works. It's worked for years. As soon as everybody took those roles away, it all started collapsing. God, we're beating that one into the ground, aren't we? But no, women aren't happier. Most of the happiness meters, these tests they see to determine people's happiness and whatnot, I forget what they're called. Women have gotten progressively more and more unhappy as they've gotten more and more liberated. That's a whole nother conversation, Harry. Lincoln. We'll have to come back to that one at another time. As soon as I'm done with Tom, we'll come back to yours. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Rondo has got what plants crave. I'll be right back. Gotta get coffee. It is ugly. It is, and it's unfortunate that it had to come to that. But it had to come to that. Because the only way you're going to push against one extreme view is with another extreme view. The alt-right, for example, who are, falsely accused of being racist, and it has nothing to do with race. Well, it does, but it's not racism. Sargon has been on this kick lately about the alt-right, and he's incredibly disingenuous regarding the alt-right. You need a live, breathing, physical, procreating partner. That's to satisfy your instinctual need. To procreate, to propagate the species. What am I trying to say? Yeah, Japan's pretty messed up. I mean, you can buy used panties and vending machines in Japan. I don't know what you're referring to there, Tom. Sorry. But the stuff isn't really complicated. It's just made complicated. It's very simple. You have a man, you have a woman, they get together, they produce children, they raise these children grow up and do the same thing. Oh, well, yeah, they're MGTOWs. They're Japanese MGTOWs, that's all they are. People make it so freaking complicated, and it's really not. And I'm guilty of this myself. But this was the environment that I was brought up. My mom was married 4 times. That's and my dad was married twice. That's the world I was brought up in, and in my world that was normal until I realized that no, it's not. No, not unethical. But okay. This is the problem, though, and I'm talking to the chat screen, even though the webcam's right here. That's part of the problem, though. It's men being driven by biological urges, men being controlled by biological urges, and it's a powerful push. It really is. That need to interact with the opposite sex. It's a powerful thing. But part of being human is not letting it control you. And these guys are letting it control them, even if they think they're not. Because instead of doing it with real live women, they're doing it with virtual women or pillows or whatever. They're being driven by their dicks. Instead of controlling their dicks are controlling them. It doesn't matter who they're doing it with. So they're still guilty of doing the exact same thing. Just not with a human being. You have to get control. And it is important to have that kind of control. Because without that kind of control, you make bad life choices. You choose bad partners. Again, I'm guilty of this myself, but that's how I learned. But part of your responsibility is, being an older human is to pass that knowledge on to people that aren't as old as you are. And don't do the same stupid shit that I did. Like I did the same stupid shit that my parents did. That kind of thing. And I really don't want to pass that on to my kids. I don't know if this is making any sense or if I'm just rambling. Crutches aren't good though, especially when they're not needed. If you don't have a broken leg, why use a crutch? Just start using your freaking leg, The alternate is finding somebody decent. And you can do it. I did. Anybody can. They are out there. You find the decent ones. You don't go to the non-decent ones, the indecent ones, the degenerates. My neighbor. And you know who they are. Are they willing to sleep with you on the first date? You don't want anything to do with them. Did you pick them up at a bar? You don't want anything to do with them. It's not easy to figure out who the bad ones are, and then once you figure out they're bad, walk away. They're perpetually unlucky by choice. There's somebody out there for everybody, and there's somebody good out there for everybody, and that's, you just have to be willing to look and wait. I mean, you have a right hand, use it. If you really need to scratch that itch. Don't look for substitutes for human contact. Just find the right human. And I know it's easy to say. And life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard work. It's supposed to be grueling. It's supposed to be rigorous. It's supposed to be work. It's kind of the nature of the beast. Easiness breeds degeneracy. Easiness breeds laziness. Making things difficult is conditioning, toughening you up, toughening both your body and your mind. If you have everything handed to you, you don't appreciate anything you have. But when you work for things, you appreciate them a hell of a lot more. You see that all the time. In, the children of rich kids. Or the children of rich people. The rich people worked hard to get their money. Their children didn't work for any of it. So they don't appreciate it. So when they trash their Lamborghini, it's like, oh well, Daddy will buy me a new one. Yeah, and that's a mistake. It's okay to streamline processes, but life should still be hard. It's a necessary thing. It's a necessary aspect of life. Because difficulty breeds appreciation. When you appreciate something, you take better care of something, whether that's your computer or your life. I don't have the best computer in the world, but worked hard to get it, paid for it out of my own pocket, maintain it myself, and I appreciate the fact that I have it. Same with, what's her face up there? She's a good woman, but there are issues in the relationship. I mean, first of all, we're 23 years apart, so there's the age gap. There's the fact that she's female and I'm male, and we look at the world in two completely different ways. That's a constant struggle in any relationship, not just mine, but in any relationship. And you just have to keep working and working and working to make it work. And that's what we do. That's what we've been doing for the last 7 years. And there's a lot of times where it just looked like we weren't going to be able to make it work because, the differences, but we're both committed to the process. And it's working. It has, but it doesn't have to. People just have to take control of their lives again. Disconnect. Stop watching TV. Put your cell phone down. Talk to people. Take control of your environment. Don't let your environment take control of you. If you can't sit at a table without looking at your cell phone, you need to get rid of your cell phone. If you can't get up and walk away from your video game, like I just did right now because it's just sitting there not doing anything, then you need to get rid of your video game. That applies to anything in life. If you find yourself incapable of not doing a thing, then you need to stop doing that thing immediately. It's okay to get enjoyment out of these things, but don't let them control your life. That's why I got rid of my cell phone. There were so many times where somebody was trying to talk to me and I was sitting there texting. Right. Yourself is the only one you can control. You should never try to control others. It's not your job to control others. It's their job to control themselves. If they ask you for advice, you can give it. If they ask you for help, you can give it. But you can't force that on other people. Exactly. Exactly. What was it, 3 years ago? I lost my job. We lost our apartment. We ended up living in a buddy's basement for a year. Then we moved to an apartment that wasn't great, but it was suitable. And now we're living in this nice place now. The next place we move to will be better. It's not, because it's not, you can't think of it as good things will come. You work hard and you will get those things. They won't come to you. You have to go get them, Mr. X. That's where that kind of thing is misinterpreted. And that's not to say that bad things can't happen to you, because they can. Your house can burn down. What is it, Micah, a regular viewer here. Good guy, works very hard, makes good money through no fault of his own. His house got hit by a hurricane. But he continues to work hard. He's rebuilding, and he'll be fine because he has that work ethic in place. He has that life ethic in place. Just one example. Are we pushed, or is it like the heroin dealer? Just one little taste. You know, Tom? I have no problem shutting Facebook off. No problem. Once I realized what Facebook was doing to my life, I shut it off. Now, sometimes I'll have it running over here on. Well, I usually have it running over here on the computer all day, but this is the computer that I don't use. And the only reason I have it running is because it's a way for people to contact me, because I don't have a cell phone, for example. But that's all I use Facebook for now, is so people can message me when they need to. I don't post anything on it. I don't do anything on it. I don't play any of their damn games. I don't do any of that crap. I use it just for their messenger. Alright, Harry, we'll pick up your Lincoln conversation next time, because I got a good one for you. I think you'll have fun with it. Same with Twitter. The only thing I use Twitter for is to promote the stream. That's it. I'll get on there every once in a while, to share some tweets or retweet some tweets, but that's really just for this. It's nice breaking those chains. It really is. It's liberating. Being able to just walk away from all that crap, being able to put it down. We had no choice back then. Before the internet, you had to talk to people, because that was your social interaction. And now you're hard pressed to find anybody who's capable of carrying on a conversation. Now you can use it for good things. I mean, we're doing that right now. We're carrying on a conversation. We're just not in the same room. This is social interaction, even though it's taking place over the internet. It's still social interaction. But you have to be able to take that out into the real world too. You can't just be all chatty on the internet and then go to the grocery store and with your head down and your hood up, not talking to anybody. It has to be a universal thing. Socialism is not socialism. Socializing is socializing, whether it's through the internet or in person. And exactly, Lito. We got rid of ours too. See, like, there's a lot of times when people will say things in chat that I'll misinterpret because it's in text only. You don't have that body language. You don't have the facial expressions. You don't have the other cues that go along with the conversation. And that's what you miss with this kind of conversation. But at least we have this. And that's the good thing about the internet. is the fact that it brings people from all over the world together to have these conversations. The bad thing is people use it for the wrong kinds of conversations. Instead of talking about things that matter, they talk about stupid shit, whatever it is, stupid shit people talk about. We do. We absolutely do. No, not with socialism. Go to your room. How you doing, Lito? He can't win. He sold you guys out so hard. So hard. Oh my god. If he still has any support, it's by people that are completely delirious. People are just completely head in the sand. He quite literally socialized himself right into a $600,000 home. That's not socialism. That's Bernie looking out for Bernie. We were just talking about that, Lito. How if you can't sit down at a table with other people and not look at your phone, then you need to get rid of your phone. If you become that dependent on that little electronic device, you need to get rid of it. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. How many times do you see people walking into doors at the grocery store? He might still be alive. He is getting up there in years, isn't he? No, he screwed himself when he took that payout. He screwed himself. He showed everybody how much of a hypocrite he was. He doesn't believe in socialism, not one bit. He uses it as a selling tool. You can't have socialism in the United States; it won't work. People like their freedom too much. People like their liberties too much. Your girlfriend works at a pharmacy, and she said every freaking day she has customers coming up to pick up prescriptions, and she can't get them to put down their damn phones long enough to tell them what their name is. And then when they do, it's this mumbled little that she can't understand them. She has to ask them 3 or 4 times, and then the people get pissed off because they're sitting there texting somebody and she's interrupting their text, despite the fact that they're there to pick up their medications. Maddening. Maddening. But we can only hope that those people get hit by cars when they're texting people while crossing the street. You do it on a TRS-80. Floppy disk. Here's your Bernie. Sorry. I hate Bernie Sanders. I can't stand it. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I don't care enough about Bernie Sanders to hate him. But one sec, Lito. What was I saying? My problem with Bernie is he was such a liar. He lied about everything. He got all these people to shell. I mean, I was seeing posts from people who were choosing between eating that week or donating to Bernie Sanders' campaign. And he snookered all these people into dumping all this money into his campaign, only to turn it over to Hillary for a payout, for another payout. Most disingenuous. Not the most. Bernie Sanders is harmless. He's a crazy little nut job from Vermont. He had his moment. He had his 15 minutes. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Bernie Sanders... Oh, the man never had a real job until he was 40 years old. And that was mayor of some small town in Vermont. you can't follow somebody like that into the White House because he has no idea what he's doing. He has no professional. He's never built anything. He's never done anything. He's never pulled himself up by his own bootstraps. He's always been leeching off the system his entire life, whether it's other women, government paychecks, whatever it was. He's always been a leech on the system. And somebody like that can't run a country. They can't, because he's just going to continue to leech. And he's going to leech off of everybody in the country if he gets the White House. Which means nobody's going to have any money, but it's all going to go into government. No. I'm honestly surprised he made it as far as he did. I think if Hillary hadn't pulled her dirty tricks, he may have taken the Democrat nod. Because she wasn't doing so hot. She has so much baggage to deal with. Girlfriend and I were talking about that, Lito. We used to smoke a lot of weed. Then we just quit. Just gave it up. Well, no, Trump's not humble, Tom. I would never say that Trump is humble. You can't be humble and be a multi-billionaire property investor. He's a salesman. It is a team effort. It is, yeah. But you gotta have a team first. Trump, look what our options were. We had Bernie Sanders, who would have run us into the ground with taxes. You had Hillary, who would have run us into war with Russia. Or you had Trump. And this is what pisses me off about people and their opinions on Trump. Until he decided to run for president, Trump was a Democrat. Trump's entire life, he was a Democrat. Trump said when he decides that he is finally going to run for president, he's going to run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid. Okay? His whole life he was a Democrat. And now all of a sudden he made it into the White House as a Republican and everybody's turning on him. All the Democrats are turning on him. Despite the fact that he's still a fucking Democrat. He just has a Republican costume on. He is brash. Yes, he's a New Yorker. New Yorkers are very brash. You ever been there? Not the most pleasant people in the world to deal with. He's not far right. Nothing Trump has done really has been far right. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're talking about. And I'm not a big fan of his, but I had no choice. Oh, they did? Sorry, Leo. Yeah, Happy New Year to you, too. Oh, yeah, I guess it is kind of cold. They were blowing up shit all over the neighborhood here. If they're going to keep dishing out these crappy candidates, that you got a Republican and a Democrat, but they're both basically the same freaking person. He's an anti-establishment candidate. He's everything that the left should be drooling over. He's anti-establishment. He's not a politician. He spent his whole life being a Democrat. I wasn't a big fan of George Bush. I thought he got us involved in a lot of wars that we didn't need to be involved in. I think he frivolously spent military money and other things. I just remember there was a lot of times throughout his campaign or throughout his presidency where I had buyer's remorse. And I wasn't shy about saying so. I will never say George Bush was a good president. He was a fun guy. So was Bill Clinton. I'll never say he was a good president. He was a fun guy. Got a lot of good material out of George Bush. But again, George Bush was handed his life. He was the child of George Bush Sr. So he's never really had to work for anything. No, I think Trump is going to do everything he can to keep us out of a war. Unfortunately, Trump has to fight against a Congress full of rhinos and Democrats who want war. Jesse Ventura running the USA. You pile drive us into oblivion. Trump doesn't want war. Absolutely not. It's not good business. Plain and simple. You're taking all these resources from the United States and just blowing them up. No businessman would do something like that. And that's what he is. He's a businessman. It's a waste of resources. Are we going to get anything out of this war? If at the end of this war, is there some big prize at the end? Then what's the point in fighting it? And that's the way he thinks. Unfortunately, he's got rhinos, and North Korea is nothing. North Korea is a non-issue. It's a distraction. And I'll tell you that right now. North Korea is a non-issue. China won't let North Korea do anything because China doesn't want to have to cover North Korea's ass. China's got a good thing going right now. There's a hair on my microphone, sorry. And China doesn't want to screw that up. And a war would screw that up for China because China doesn't have the resources to fight a war right now. They have so much money invested in keeping their own country stable and secure that they can't really afford to dump any more out into an outside war because they're constantly fighting a war inside their country. You know, it's a totalitarian system that they have, and when you have a system in place like that, you have to spend a lot of money on military and police to keep it all in line. You know, they fell for that crap once during the Korean War, and it didn't turn out well. They dumped a lot of money into that, and it hurt them horribly. It took them a long time to recover. Now they got Hong Kong back, and they're realizing the perks that carries with it. Oh, it's freaking maddening. I can't see it because I'm blind. It's right there somewhere. If North Korea does try to start a war, they're going to be doing it on their own this time. Yeah. No, they can't. They can't. They don't have the resources, and they don't have the loyal military. And they're not, despite what everybody says, they're not going to have the backing of China because China's not going to risk their standing in the world market. They have the strongest economy in the world right now, and that's not saying much. But China's a, cock of the block right now. Hell, I think they have a better credit rating than we do. They just established that Asian partnership with all the Asian countries pooling the resources, and no, he does. He knows how to use resources at his disposal. That's what he does. That's what he's been doing his whole life. He makes the best use of the resources at his disposal. If some of the resources at his disposal are no good, he's not going to use them. He's a businessman. Again, he's a businessman. Yeah, Lito, I heard about that. Yeah, that guy was a mess. The one that got shot 5 times. He does have an ego. There's no denying that, Tom. He has to. When he walks into a business meeting with a potential client or contractor or whatever it is that he's walking into a meeting with, a potential investor, he has to be the man in charge of that meeting. He has to dictate the terms of that meeting. That's the way you do business. Otherwise, the person that you're doing business with is just going to walk all over you. That's par for the course when you're working in the world that he works in. He's just bringing that to the White House now. So when he deals with other people, he deals with that as, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, I'm the president. Now, I will listen to your advice. I will take your words into consideration. If I think it's good advice, great, we'll go with it. If I think it's bad advice, no, we're going to scrap it. It's not bravado, it's confidence. See, people think he's stupid because of the way he talks. He talks like a New Yorker. And when you hear a New Yorker talk, you think they're stupid, despite the fact that he's not. You can't be a multi-billionaire and be stupid. It just doesn't work. The two don't go hand in hand. You can't build what he built. Despite the fact that he got $14 million, he took that $14 million and turned it into $6-7 billion. Stupid people don't do things like that. Stupid people take $14 million and turn it into a horrible heroin habit. He's really good at putting people off their game. That's one of his strengths, and I think Putin sees that. When there could be a really good relationship between those two countries, because they're both very similar, very alpha male. Okay, neither one is going to push the other one around. Putin's not afraid of Trump. Trump's not going to be intimidated by Putin. So they can come at a situation on an equal level. Well, in a different way. Trump is a powerful man all on his own. That's possible, but that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to do real estate. He wanted to do business ventures. You could always make more money doing different things. I can make more money working at a convenience store than I am sitting here streaming every night. That's irrelevant. It's not what he chose to do. He chose to make his money this way. And the fact that he became a multi-billionaire doing so says something. There are easier ways to do things, yes. But you don't appreciate the easy way. And for him, it's not about the money. The money has... People like him, money means nothing. It has absolutely no meaning to them whatsoever. It's just a scorecard. What matters to him is the success. I did this. I built this. I created this. It doesn't matter, this way, this way, this way. This is the way he chose to do it. This was the challenge he presented to himself. It is, Lito. It is. I can't disagree with you there. Any media source right now is going to take any opportunity they have to say anything negative about Trump that they can, because that's the popular thing to do. And again, I'm not a huge, MAGA Trump 2020 kind of thing. That's not who I am. I'm just trying to keep it real. He chose to make money doing it that way. And he did. A lot. A lot. More than you or I will ever see. Right. When Obama did something good, I would say, hey, wow, that one thing that you did, that was really good. Unfortunately, he did so much bad that was just bad. That was destructive to our nation. That I had a lot of trouble finding those little kernels of good amongst all the poop. God, there was so much of it, so much of it. He destroyed this country. Well, he came close to destroying this country. But we needed somebody like Obama in the White House. He was a necessary evil. Not because he was a good president, but because he reminded us that, hey, we're drifting too far this way, and we need to bring it back to center. No, he wasn't. He was not. There was nothing professional about him. He was petty. He was spiteful. He was vindictive. He was a well-spoken black man, but that's about it. Everything about him was petty. I did this, and look what I did, and he didn't do this, I did this. No, he wasn't presidential. Nobody respected him. People respect the president. Nobody respected Obama. No foreign leaders respected Obama. At least nobody that we give two shits about. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Because I stopped watching the news years ago. Because it's not news. It's propaganda. He was good at doing prepared speeches. He was very good at that. I'll give him that. If somebody wrote a speech down and threw it up on the teleprompter, he was good. The minute you took him off that, he was completely clueless. I never got the impression that Barack Obama was making decisions. His entire two-term presidency, I never got the impression that it was him that was calling the shots, that it was him that was leading the country. From a lot of independent sources, a lot of independent reporters that aren't tied to any particular news outlet. And then there's a lot of reading between the lines, finding the raw data instead of the filtered data, you know, the stuff that you get from the news. Instead of taking that, you know, the stuff that they present to you, you go and find the raw footage. And you watch all the raw footage. I'll tell you what, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but if you want real information about these, it used to be, it's not so much anymore because it's been corrupted, but I used to get a lot of really good raw data from the Chans, 4chan, 8chan, the Chans, because you would get it from the actual people that are there, instead of filtered through CNN or NBC or whatever. The only problem with Reddit is the rating system. A lot of good information on Reddit gets downvoted to the point where you don't see it. And that was a big mistake on Reddit's part. That's always been my issue with Reddit, is the fact that they have a rating system for information. This is just a place to gather information. It doesn't need to be voted up. There's no reason for it. The Chans are all anonymous, for starters. So there's no fear of reprisal. So people are much more likely to be honest. It's much easier to be honest when you're not going to have somebody throwing you into prison, for example. Because like there's a lot of countries in Europe now where people can't be honest anymore because they risk backlash from their communities, their government, whatnot. People are being thrown in jail for hate speech. Like that's a thing. But these things give people an outlet to just be honest, to just talk. What's on your mind? Honestly, unfiltered. I mean, it's abrasive. Don't get me wrong. It's not for the faint of heart. But it's real. But life isn't for the faint of heart. You know, if you don't have a little backbone, you really have no business being here. Can't handle a little offense, you know, not doing anybody any favors. There's always going to be people that disagree with you, and that's fine, that's good, that's how you grow, by getting a variety of sources of input. So, you know, people are constantly saying I'm a conservative, and I don't consider myself a conservative because I see a lot of merit to both sides. I believe in strong family values. I believe in strong core values, but I'm not religious. I believe in charity. I don't believe in handouts. I don't know that I've ever seen his stuff. Molyneux, Stefan Molyneux. I don't know if you ever watched any of his videos. Avoid his philosophy like the plague. But when he's doing research on a subject, the man's an excellent researcher. He's really good at digging up data. The Truth of series. Avoid his call-in shows. Avoid his philosophical discussions. But his factual stuff, the stuff where he does like the PowerPoint presentations, those are great because it's actual information that you won't get in school. His truth about Lincoln, very well done. Now you have to filter through some of his personal bias, of course, but you have to do that with anybody. Kind of on the fence about Shapiro. He's entertaining. Well, yeah, speaking of YouTube people, Sargon has really gone over the deep end lately with this whole alt-right thing. Totally misrepresenting everything that they're talking about. Talking about. He actually pulled the race card in a little discussion between he and Millennial Woes, who was a very strong alt-right supporter. I'll have to check it out. I used to listen to a lot of Chomsky. I didn't necessarily agree with everything he said, but I liked the way he presented it. I mean, he was dry, of course. Listen to him talk is very dry, but I like that kind of stuff. And like I said, I didn't necessarily agree with everything he said, but I appreciated the way he presented it because he didn't treat me like I was some kind of fucking idiot. He didn't dumb it down. He didn't. He tried to back his ideas up with data. But there you go. Be right back. Yeah, so do I. I love listening to them. I just don't agree with them. I like listening to oh Christ, I can't remember his name now. No, I don't do Netflix. Netflix pissed me off with the whole net neutrality thing. That's the way I work. If I don't like your business practices, I don't support your business. Yeah, the biggest problem I have with Chomsky is the fact that he's part of the institution. He's part of the problem. I mean, he's tenured, so he doesn't have to worry about his job, but he oh yeah, well, he's getting old. He's got to be 82, 83. I listen to these people and I hear the things they say, but I don't believe them lock, stock, and barrel. It's data, and that's what I view them all as, data. And then I take all that data and let it filter, let it stir around, and then somewhere in there is truth. It's just filtering out all the bullshit. But find it hard to trust anybody from academia these days, because it's so agenda driven now. The intellectuals, you know what I mean? Yeah, Alex Jones. He's a freaking nut job. I don't think I've ever sat through a single Alex Jones video, or whatever. Guy's just off the wall. I honestly don't know how he got as popular as he did. Chemtrails. Gay frogs. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. He's a wackadoo. He's funny. He's funny. Some good memes. Yeah, that's why. That little bit he did with the Young Turks at that one news conference or whatever, where him and Cenk almost threw down. Now Cenk got called out. Hey Keb, how's it going? Long time no see. Oh god, that's a whole nother conversation. It's getting late. I am going to have to wrap this up, unfortunately. Bill Clinton's a rapist, yeah. Yeah, he does. He's good at getting under people's skin. Oh fuck, Dolo. Now Dolo's here. God, now I gotta stay up for a little bit. I know, it was crazy. Did you see, you too, Keb, thanks. Young Turks were doing a thing. Some live question and answer thing with some university students and whatnot. And one of the students asked a question. They assumed, of course, naturally, that they had full support from everybody in the audience. And then, yeah, he can, Leto, but you got to filter through all his chemtrails. That's the problem with Alex Jones. He throws out all this off-the-wall shit, and then right there's something good. There's something good, but it's all obscured by all this other shit that he's just flailing around about. Guy in the audience asked Anita Sarkeesian how she could condone working for Cenk, despite the fact that he denies the Armenian genocide. because she's Armenian, and her family was affected by that firsthand. You know, they had to flee the area to avoid it. And, very, very amusing. I know. And he found out there's more money in being a liberal. Progressive, sorry, not the same thing. That's what it was. The Justice Democrats, yeah. But that's going to haunt them down the road too. It's feeding on itself. You see that? All this progressive mentality, all this selfishness, all this degeneracy, all this greed, all this envy, corruption is feeding on itself. And you know, as much as I'd like to think that it's the right pushing back that's causing this shift, a lot of it is due primarily to the fact that the progressives have shot themselves in the foot. They created the set of rules that they can't possibly live up to. You know, speaking out against pedophilia and whatnot, despite the fact that you're promoting very degenerate lifestyles. Part of being a degenerate is being, you know, pedophiles are degenerates, plain and simple. So you can't promote one without expecting the other. Yeah. Progressives, not liberals. Big difference. Big difference. What do I think of Pizzagate? I think that's going to blow up sometime soon. I think that's one of Trump's little hidden gems. He's got all these sealed indictments out, thousands plus, and I think a large part of it had to do with, you know, Anthony Weiner laptop. A lot of information in there that could directly lead to a lot of bad things. But all these things are connected. You know, the corruption in the DNC, the Anthony Weiner fiasco, the Pizzagate thing. These things are all connected. There's a common thread, and the Clintons are right there in the center of it. All these people that are, you know, committing suicide by double tap to the back of the head, you know, and everywhere, all these threads, all these strings that are out here, all lead back to the Clintons. All lead back to that core group. Yeah, he's in jail now, but he's still doing damage. He's still doing damage. He got careless. He was thinking with his dick, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Prime example of how damaging that could be. He could not control his junk. Yeah, we are, Keb. Sorry. I'm glad. We've had a week or so of very boring streams, so I'm glad we're back on good conversations again. I don't think it's as bizarre as, you know, a lot of the theories out there suggest. But I do know that there's yeah, well, I mean, it goes hand in hand. When you're in power, you want to show people how powerful you are, and part of that is dominating people in a sexual manner. There's the whole Epstein thing. Epstein is a noted pedophile, noted pervert. Slick Willie was really chummy with him. They went on plenty of plane rides together. That's undeniable. We got flight records that prove that. Yeah, the only problem with that, Dolo, is once you sacrifice one of those lambs turn their laptop over to the State Department. See, it feeds on itself. No, no. But there is evidence. Just because we're not aware of it. But there's been a lot of things popping up that, see, and this is why I like to go to alternate sources for information, because I can find these, you know, the WikiLeaks and these declassified documents and whatnot that you'll never hear about on CNN, that you'll never hear about on MSNBC. I mean, how much news coverage did the JFK documents get on, just as an example, on any of the primary news sources? Not a bit. Not one iota. Not one eye batted. Despite the fact that there's some really damning stuff in there. I'm still trying to go through it all. You know, a lot of stuff that completely discredits the civil rights movement. A lot of stuff that completely discredits the Kennedy assassination, whatnot. Theory. But that's stuff from the past. We're talking about present day stuff. The information's there. The emails were sent. Messages were received. Nothing disappears from the internet. Nothing. It's all there somewhere. You just have to know where to find it. You can scrub your hard drive as much as you want to. It left a digital footprint somewhere. And there's a lot of people out there that are really good at finding this stuff. If you know where to look. Yeah, no, that's a whole other. Yeah, sorry, flat Earth. Well, yeah, you do. You just have to make sure the trust is placed well. And who are you going to trust? You going to trust the one telling you the truth, or you going to trust the one that's lying to you at every step of the process? And the Clintons have done nothing but lie about everything, And there's too many questions surrounding them. Even if only 10% of it is accurate. It's still a hell of a lot of bad stuff. I mean, have you ever seen the death list? You know, people that have been affiliated with the Clintons who have mysteriously committed suicide. The doctor who stabbed himself in the chest because he was calling them out on the whole Haiti bullshit. Seth Rich. All this whole list of people who all took their own lives. I mean, the guy shot himself in the back of the head twice. You know. Well, I'd like to believe scientists too, Tom, because they're the ones you're supposed to believe. They're the ones that deal with raw data. They're the ones that deal with fact. But once politics get involved in it, the scale for mental... Here's an example. The scale for mental retardation on the IQ scale was 85. Anything below that was considered mentally retarded. Politics got involved. There were too many minorities that were falling into that 75 to 85 area. So it was making things problematic. So politicians got involved with the science of IQ and had them artificially reduce the number for mental retardation to 70. That's the problem. Prior to political social intervention, homosexuality was considered a mental disorder. And then the politicians got involved. This was a decision that had nothing to do with science. It was purely socially, politically driven to have that removed from the list of psychological disorders. There's just two examples. Climate change. Huge example of politics dictating science. I would love to blindly believe science because it does deal with facts. In theory, you know, in theory, it does deal with facts. It does deal with raw data. And that would be encouraging. That would be refreshing to, you know, for the same reason that I find the Chan's refreshing, because it's honest. No, I'm aware of that, Tom. I'm just pointing out different examples where agendas have skewed science. No one's denying that there are changes in climate. It happens. It's cyclical. It gets warmer. It gets colder. We have ice ages. They recede. You know, this has been going on for millennia. But then when the politicians get involved, we're all going to die next year because of global warming. Science shouldn't have anything to do with philosophy, in my opinion, because one deals with opinions, and the other one deals with cold hard fact, and I think it's where the two start to mingle. See, because religion is technically philosophy. And religion had a very heavy impact on science, you know, back in the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, and whatnot. It really pushed science back centuries. Yeah, yeah. Physicists you can tend to rely on. Yeah, but does anybody understand economics, honestly? Because economics is such a fiasco right now. Economics, at its core, is just, I have a thing, you want a thing, let's talk. That's economics, in a nutshell. When you start adding credit and interest rates and all that, that's when it starts to get all muddy. And that's when it's not even economics anymore. Now it's more... I don't even know what the word is. Economics shouldn't be complicated. It really shouldn't. You have this much money, that's how much you have to spend. Period. There should be absolutes involved there. Usury was a big detriment to that. Anything worth doing is... You know, we had that discussion earlier. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be hard, because then you'll appreciate it. Tesla was a scientist. Edison was a businessman. That's the big difference there. I have no respect for Edison. I have nothing but respect for Tesla. Tesla was doing it just because. He wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it because he wanted to know why. Why does this do this? I don't know what that is. Well, no, they don't, Dolo, because that's not their job. They're scientists. It's not their job to worry about money. Sorry, we got totally distracted back to started this whole conversation. This is how my streams end up frequently. What was I trying to say? I better play one. It's not the scientist's job to worry about the money. It's the scientist's job to worry about the answers. It's somebody else's job to worry about the money. That's why you have the accounting department. Scientists aren't supposed to be efficient. They're not supposed to be frivolous. I've only been playing a couple weeks, Vecta. Yep. Buying and selling. And I suck. I'm very bad at this game. I'm so bad at this game. I blow up very quickly.
Action stations.
Well, no, they don't, Dolo. But then the business end of it doesn't understand the importance of science. What am I playing? What ship am I playing? Nicholas. Okay. Good lord. You ever leave the house? 5,000 games? I don't disagree with you on any particular aspect of that, Dolo. I really don't. But it's not their thing. It's their thing to find the answers. It's the economist's thing to find the money.
All stations, protect that target. Enemy battleship. Smoke generator started.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
All stations, proceed to capture that area.
Sorry, I got sucked into the game. There goes all my smoke. Oh, I thought there was a destroyer in there. Oh, there was. He's dead now. I'm an atheist and I'm very opposed to Marxism. Very opposed to the state.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir.
Oh well. I was just happy a couple of my torpedoes hit. Just a couple though. That one's going to peter out. Is it going to hit? No, they petered out right before they hit. Alright, sorry. Oh, we go. Oh, we won this one.
Battleship destroyed.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's just, I'm just bad. That's all there is to it, to be completely honest. I'm just bad. I don't have patience. I want to get in there and mix it up, and you can't do that with a destroyer. You have to be much more sneaky, much more stealthy. I am going to have to wrap this up though. It's going on 4 o'clock. Sorry I missed you, Dolo. Wish we could have gotten in more of a conversation. It's always fun. Beck, thanks for stopping by. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 11. Same bat time, same bat channel. Don't know what I'm playing. I think I might be doing the Half-Life thing. Finish up Half-Life. Go check out that game Tom was talking about too. So you folks have a great evening. Happy New Year. And see you tomorrow. Have to do 127 very good for arcing shots over island cover. Huh, I'll keep that in mind, Vec. Thanks for the input. Deus Ex revision. Got it. And thanks for the follow, Vec.